So that was check-ins. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed because it's like when you know you've done everything to the T and then the scale goes back up. But you know what? Whatever. Whatever. Who cares, right? Who cares? Who cares? I mean, I care, but what are you going to do? You're going to keep on keeping on doing the same thing that you've been doing, because that's bodybuilding. And that is when the champion mindset has got to clock in. So let's just talk about it. Let's talk about having a champion mindset. Okay, I'm still learning my camera and the settings. I think I got it right now. When I unboxed it and tried it out in the last vlog, y'all was like right here in my face. So just got back from the gym. Well, not just got back. I've been back for about an hour or so. Did my stretching, my core, my cardio, got that done. Got updates from coach. So I realized why I was feeling the way I was feeling. Last week when she made adjustments, it was a 170 calorie drop. So that's why I was feeling away for this week. And then today she dropped calories again. So it was a 60 cal drop because we're trying to force some things to happen right now. And then bumped cardio by 5 minutes. So cardio is 5 by 25, which still is nothing crazy. Even with my calories now, I am under 2,000 calories, but we still have wiggle room to go. So now I need to get ready for work, and y'all gonna get ready for me, and we're gonna have a conversation about this whole champion mindset situation, okay? So I'm in a very unique situation just within the bodybuilding space. So I'm an athlete myself, and then on top of that, I have a business within the bodybuilding space. So I am blessed in a way that I get to be around all different athletes. So athletes of different divisions, athletes of different ages. I meet girls from different countries. And one thing about me is I am a psychology nerd, okay? I accidentally minored in psychology in college, and I told my mom one time, I said, see, college wasn't a total waste because I didn't finish. All those psychology courses that I took really helped me in my beauty business. So, education is great. I love the human mind. I love understanding people. I love listening to people and figuring out why they are the way they are and how they process things. That's honestly why I love YouTube so much, and specifically vlogs, because you get to see someone's day-to-day life and just how they think and how they process what they're going through. Live, love for that, right? So within the bodybuilding space, I get to just have conversations with athletes and dig a little bit deeper into their mindset. And something that I figured out really quickly was you have got to adopt the champion mindset, but also you have to adopt the pro mindset first, okay? I have come across some athletes who have gotten their pro cards really, really fast. So their competing history really isn't that long. So they have a pro physique, but they have an amateur mindset. Mindset is third call outs at best. And I've done a video on this. I'll make sure to remember to link it down below if I can. But the thing is, when you are in the NPC for, I want to say, at least 3 years, you begin to build resilience, okay? Because on that journey to getting your pro card, you're doing show after show and you're missing, you're not winning, it is going to build you tough skin. And in this sport, you have to have tough skin. That is definitely part of having the champion mindset. So don't think because you're not a pro yet that you're not a champion. You are. If you have been through 3 preps already, you're a champion. And then also the thing about with bodybuilding is you got to understand the game that you want to play. There's levels to this, right? How serious are you going to take this? I feel once you get to the point of where you're wanting to become a pro, and or if you're wanting to become an Olympian, you are taking this serious. And the thing is, when you have either of those goals, understand that sacrifices have got to be made. That's just simply what it is. There's no way around it. Sacrifices have got to be made. So for me right now, I'm looking at my schedule and I'm understanding that, okay, the goal is for me to get on stage in the fall. That means after July, because like the next 6 to 7 weeks, I'm gone every single weekend with shows. So that means for me, I know once I get to August, I need to start prioritizing myself. So it's either, okay, business or Amber being an athlete. So right now, business is up here. But once I start to shift, hey, guess what? Business, I got to put you down for just a second because now my priority is being an athlete. My priority is being a pro. My priority is being the absolute best that I can be. And so I understand that I'm in a situation where I'm blessed where I can make my schedule, but even if you can't make your own schedule, there are things that you're going to have to sacrifice. It might be, hey, you might have to miss some parties. It might be, hey, I can't show up to this. It might be, I'm either going to have to wake up early to get some stuff done, or I'm going to have to stay up late to get some stuff done. If you got to stay up late, make sure you can sleep in. Pro tip, make sure you can sleep in. But you have got to make some sacrifices. And if you're a person where it's not that serious for you, God bless you. That is amazing. It does not have to be that serious for you. If you're just doing it because you like the journey, it's fun for you, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. I just feel that when you are taking this serious, if the goal is to be a pro, be an Olympian, then there are some mindset things that we gotta handle. So with being able to be around so many different athletes, I clocked in on the fact really quickly that, hey, a lot of these pros, they have the pro status, but they have an amateur mindset. And an amateur mindset is not a champion mindset. So you're probably thinking, okay, well, how do you acquire a champion mindset, right? It takes time. It takes time in the game. It takes experience. I've been doing this for 5 years. I've done 8 or 9 shows now. So there are things that I know. I know things just from being on the outside looking in. I know things from me being in prep, and tough skin is the name of the game, especially for the bikini competitors, because bikini is a volatile AF. Bikini don't always make sense. Bikini is always going to bikini, and you have to understand that your best might not be the best for that day. You have to understand that you might have one show where you're in that first call out, then you might have another show where you're in a third call out, and you could look the exact same, but because you're up against different girls, it can literally throw the whole thing off. Understand that you don't need to have a body part that is blaring. You just need to be balanced from top to bottom. That is the goal. Understanding the game. That is huge for having a champion mindset. Understanding the game and understanding the criteria. Understanding your physique and what you look like and what you need to do for your physique. The worst thing that you can do is have too many people in your ear. The worst thing you can do is listening to too much noise on social media. None of that matters. None of that matters. It doesn't matter how you look on social media. It doesn't matter how your check-in photos are. It doesn't matter how you are turning and doing all that. None of that stuff matters. What matters is how you looked when you got on stage next to those other girls. So when you have been doing this for some time and you've adopted the pro mindset, you have the champion mindset, when you see stuff on social media, it's not going to bother you because you know that's great. You look gnarly in your perfect setup and the angles and the lighting, but a lot of girls, when you see them on stage, they don't look nothing like how they present themselves on Instagram. So there's nothing wrong with sharing your photos on Instagram. I do. I love seeing like physique updates because we have to document the journey, right? But having that champion mindset is, if you are on social media, not getting into your head because of what you're seeing, what other athletes look like. That's not anything that I personally have ever struggled with, but I know a lot of girls struggle with that. And if that's your struggle, that's okay. Listen, we all got different struggles, so I'm going to get into my struggle in a second. So if you were that person, get off of social media, sis. Get off, log off, mind your business. Okay, out of the shower, you guys. These braids are donezo. I'm sad that they didn't last as long as I was hoping. I wanted to get at least a smooth 4 weeks. I am at week 3 and they are looking broke, busted, and disgusted. So I'm going to take them down tomorrow and I'm going to film that because I want to film the process and actually just talk about my coily hair routine. And what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wear my natural hair for a couple of days just to kind of get a gauge of where I'm at and decide if I want to get it braided one more time or if I just want to rock the fro, because I think I might be out of that awkward phase that I was in. I was in this awkward phase and I couldn't take it anymore, so that's why I got the braids, because I do want to grow my hair out. I just like, if you have short hair, then you know, if you've ever had short hair and growing it out, it's a whole thing. You go through a lot of weird phases. And in order for me to keep myself from going back to being a bald-headed baddie, because I don't care about having short hair, like I'll fade the sides in the back and live my best life, I was like, okay, let me just braid my hair. So I'm using the Glow Recipe Huge Drops. So that'll be probably the next video after this. Take the braids down, go into details about just protein treatments, products that I'm using, styling my hair, and all that jazz. Look, anyhow, back to the champion mindset. One of my biggest downfalls is all up in here. And what I mean all up in here is I tend to keep everything in here. I don't say anything to anyone when I am struggling with anything prep related. And so what happens is it just starts to build up over time and then eventually I snap. Thank God for Sierra when she came in to get her extensions tightened last weekend, because she just started asking me questions, and these questions really made me like take a step back and think deeper and dig deep as to why I was feeling the way that I was feeling and why it was grieving me, y'all, to track my food, cardio, lift, just like go. It was just like the last thing I wanted to do. And I thought that maybe that was a sign of me not, maybe I shouldn't prep this season. Maybe I shouldn't prep at all. Maybe I should just be done with bodybuilding. So then talking to her and just really unpacking, these thoughts that I was having, just these thoughts of me worrying about, okay, can I get this weight off? The fear of the unknown for me is really what was getting to me, because I've never been here before. I didn't realize how comfortable I was being a national level athlete, because you know what to expect. And yes, every prep is different. However, I understand the structure of national shows. I understand how it goes. I've only done one pro show. And when I did my pro show, it was like, 2 weeks after winning my pro card. So I was on a high. And Sierra told me, she said, it's the same thing. Nothing changes. Everything is the same. Don't get in your head. Don't overthink it. And I was like, okay, yes, she's right. So I think for me, I just want to do well. I want to do well, and probably putting unnecessary pressure on myself. But listen, we unpacking my junk, you know, and I want to do so well to the point where I started fearing, okay, well, what if you don't do well? What if your physique doesn't line up? What if you don't have a bikini physique? What if you're just like all these things? And so with all of those thoughts, I was low-key, high-key self-sabotaging myself, thinking, okay, well, you just don't need to do this at all. What's the point? Why even try? And so I gave up before I even try, right? So Sierra really helped me kind of work through those things. And then the other day when I was in the shower, I was just thinking, and I literally, like, God spoke to me and cast one more net is what I heard. And then of course I start crying, and then like I could literally feel like the Holy Spirit. And so that was God releasing me, saying, yes, it's okay to do this. You can do this, but please understand that you can't, just a reminder, you can't do this without me. You're doing this for a reason. You're doing this for a bigger purpose. You're doing this way bigger than you just loving this. You're doing this for me because I have made you and designed you to look a specific way for a very specific reason. So now we're getting really deep. Let's go put some makeup on. Yo, how is this looking? I think I've got these settings at a good place. But okay, anywho, let's keep going. Let's unpack this stuff. I'll have all the items that I'm using down below in the description box. It's not about the makeup. I have to get ready, but I also need to film this. So here we go. So again, these are just my own personal thoughts, you guys. This is just me. Stay focused. We're talking about me. If you can relate, let me know. But I understand that everybody don't feel the way that I feel, and I'm good with that. Like, it would be unrealistic for me to even think that everyone would have the same thoughts as I. Okay, so one of my biggest like gripes with social media, Instagram, that always frustrated me, and I've talked to Marilla about this, is I get it, right? It's Instagram. It's very quick, you know, it's about what something looks like, whatever the post is, right? But something that I would always get frustrated with is how I look is how I look. I am not someone who is self-indulgent and vain with what I look like. What I look like is what I look like. God created me this way for a very specific reason, okay? I don't get hung up on it. And then also, I don't get hung up on it because I understand that how I currently look, like my physique and everything, I'm not going to look like this forever. I'm not supposed to look like this forever. But something that has always frustrated me just in regards to social media, because I like social media. I like being social. I like speaking with people, but you know, it's vain. And especially, you know, starting off as majority beauty as well. And so I'd always tell Marilla, like, it's so frustrating to me, like, where I'd post like a cool look that I did on someone, or post, you know, something, I don't know, something that doesn't have anything to do with me. You know, it's just kind of like, it's like you're not seen, but then as soon as I post me and you can see my physique, it's like, oh, like all the engagement, and that infuriates me and frustrates me to know. And it used to make me really, really upset. I was like, why do people only care about the way how I look, how others look? Like, there's so much more to it than that. How about actually like I think what I'm saying is way more important than the vanity metrics of what I look like, right? And please understand, I'm not saying that, oh yeah, like I know no, that's not what it is. And then as time goes on, I start to learn, just, you know, really, again, listen to God. I understand God makes no mistakes, right? Mind you, now, I am someone who used to hide their body. When I first got into the beauty industry, I would try to hide my arms, hide everything. And a quote that will stick with me forever, and what made me decide, you know what, I'm going to bodybuild, was from Simone Biles. It was it was 5 years ago. And she said, God made me look this way for a reason, so I'm going to use it. And that is a quote that I will always hold close to my heart, because I understand that God made me look this way for a very specific reason. He made me look this way, not for vanity metrics, not for me to be an egotistical prick. He made me look this way because he knew that the assignment that he was going to give me, I need to look this way. So you need to look this way because I need you to go into this small niche down industry here where, you know, Jesus is there, but a lot of people aren't talking about him, right? This is just for what matters the most. This is just so that way I can use you as a vessel. This is just so that way I can use you to glorify me, because everything that I need for you to do is for my glory. Okay, cool, got it. So my mindset had to shift in understanding that, yes, prep is for me, but at the end of the day, this thing is much bigger than me, because I am using my journey, I am using my trade to basically share the gospel, to basically bring others to Christ, to encourage, to help, to whatever the case may be, just be kind to someone, you know. And I know on the outside looking into, a lot of people, they're probably thinking, that's bodybuilding's not holy, it's not this, it's not that. But then again, when I think about Jesus, how he looked, and the people that he rolled with, they didn't look like that's very, to me, that's very legalistic thinking, right? Where you just want everything to, by the law, look perfect, look pretty, look prim, look proper. Well, guess what? We're sinners. We're not perfect. We're not prim. We're not proper, right? And so God said, yep, I'm going to make you look like this. Then I'm going to throw you in here. And then you're going to do that. So this prep is way bigger than me. Of course, I love it. I'm doing this because I love it. But I also understand that in that moment in the shower, when God released me to do it, it was him saying, hey, I need you to do this for me. So that way we can touch more people. But also because you can do this. You can do it. So I really needed that conversation that I had with Sierra. And then I really needed that moment where God was speaking to me, because the thing about prep for me is I have found that since I've been competing, since I've been bodybuilding, I have gotten closer to God. I have been, a Jesus girly. I was with him, but I won't with him. But as I got deeper and deeper into my bodybuilding journey, I found that it was bringing me closer and closer to him. Because, listen, there are days where it's just kind of like, yo, I can't, I can't do this without you, Lord. And so for me, in my champion mindset, a huge puzzle of my champion mindset is allowing the Lord to come into this prep with me and helping me and using me. And even the hard times, even the not so pretty times, like, sharing those moments and letting it be used for his glory later on down the road, y'all. And I understand that everyone's not going to understand that, and that's okay. But if you get, you get, and if you don't, you don't. But I know for me and my journey, having a huge part of maintaining my champion mindset is understanding that God is with me. He's omnipresent. When I'm hungry, he's with me. When I'm doing the stair stepper, he's with me. When I'm killing it, he's with me. When I'm not killing it, he's with me, And in my mind, my mind has to, I have to start flushing out these things that are in my mind. Because the thing about prep is, what you really also need to be careful with in regards to having your champion mindset, is you can't share all your thoughts. You can't share all your ideas. You can't share all your struggles and your battles with everyone. Now, I know it's probably natural to share it with your significant other or a best friend, but I'm going to tell you this. If they have never stepped on a stage, they don't know. You don't know what you don't know. That would be like me sitting up here trying to talk to y'all about childbirth. I know it is hard. I know it is probably one of the most hard things that women go through. I know that, but I have never done it. So therefore, I'm not the person to deliver the message. I can have empathy and say, oh my goodness. But so it's the same thing, right? With your loved ones or your friends who have never stepped on stage, they don't know what it's like. So of course, they're going to do what they can to make you feel better. But at the same time, they just don't get it. And so I would highly encourage you to, speak to someone. If you're like me, where you just kind of like, ooh, you tend to keep all those thoughts and ideas on the inside. If you are someone like that, you got to talk to somebody. You have to talk to someone. So again, this is why social media is beautiful. This is why Instagram is beautiful. One thing I can say, when I got into bodybuilding, I was so amazed at how welcoming the bodybuilding industry is. Oh my God. Because keep in mind, I'm coming from the beauty industry, and the beauty industry is just not like that. It's not. I feel like as time has gone on, it is much better than what it was. But baby, at first, woo, you'd be hard pressed to get anyone to even talk to you about a specific product or a skill. I got sunburned at Mackenzie's graduation. I didn't even talk about that. Lord Kinsey graduated. So I'm recording on Thursday. I think last time I saw y'all was on a Sunday. I left on Monday. She graduated on Tuesday, came back Wednesday. Kinsey graduated. Oh my goodness. So I've been with Mackenzie since I was 17 years old. I graduated high school at 17, and now Mackenzie is 17 and she graduated high school. I've been with her since day one, and it's such a trip to be around her now because I feel like I'm living my teenage life again, and I'm just outside of my body this time because Mackenzie is just like my best friend Lauren, her mom. So it's just like how she talks, her manner, her body language, like everything. I'm like, this is insane. But baby girl graduated and I got sunburnt on my forehead and my lips. My lips. But it's fine. It's okay. It is okay. Anywho, where was I going? What was I talking about? Having someone to talk to. Yeah, the bodybuilding industry is so warm, welcoming, and you will be able to find your people, find your person, just someone to talk to. Like, that's why I love, the fact that a lot of the girlies are vlogging now. I love Aurelia's vlogging, Andrea's vlogging, Shantae's vlogging, Niecy's vlogging. Like, seeing all the girls vlogging, Alexis is vlogging. I'm trying to get on her to vlog more. I'm gonna work on her. But it's like all the girls. Oh, she's going to the O. If y'all follow me on Instagram, you already know she won Toronto Pro. So when I tell you I can rest easy now, it is way more stressful being on the other side of the stage. Like when it's my show day, I'm stressed because I just don't like all the chaos and hoopla of show day. I'm like, can we just please get this over with, please? But when my friends are competing, your girl be stressed. So we're going to the O again, and I'm so excited. So excited. She sent me a message the night before because, I always send her prayers and, just words of encouragement. And she said, okay, I love you. Let's go get our O qualification. And I was like, yes. So she got that. So proud of her. So excited for her. But like, she's my somebody. Y'all know that's how Alexis and I met. We met through Instagram. The first bodybuilding competition that I went to, she was competing and she won. And I just so happened to come across her on Instagram. I think I was like searching the hashtags for the show because I was so excited to be there. Marilla came with me. I just wanted to learn and watch and see. And I saw her and I was like, oh, that's the girl that won. So I sent her a message. I was like, hey, you don't know me. My name is Amber. I'm getting ready to start prep for the first time. I was at the show. Just want to say congratulations. You looked amazing. And that is how we became homies. I slid into her DMs and just like that. And then it came, like she came at such a good time because I was at a moment in prep where this was the second 2020 season where I was just on the cardio, doing cardio. And I felt like I was going crazy, just going insane. And I didn't know who to talk to. And so I just cracked that day and I was just like, I'm struggling right now. I feel like I'm going insane. This is very hard. And she's like, yo, yes, okay. She's like, that's normal. Like I felt like that during this phase, blah, blah, blah. So it was just so nice to have someone say, okay, your feelings are valid. I felt like that too. This is normal, but get your behind in gear and keep going. Because we can complain. That's fine. We can complain about it. But what we can't do is not do the work. So having someone that you can just, sound off on, or you're probably thinking, oh, Amber, well, when you were going through it, why didn't you, say something to her then? Because she was in peak week, y'all. And one thing about me, I am just not going to be doing that to my homie. Or someone might say, oh, why didn't you tell your coach? Your coach is one of your best friends. Yes. So the thing about, I respect Jordan and I's relationships. Is she one of my best friends? Yes. Is she my coach? Yes. But I don't hit her up with my nonsense. Now, I will get to a point, like in my check-ins this morning, I was like, Jay, and I was doing my cardio, and when she just so happened to be finishing up my check-in, when I was finishing up my cardio. And so I answered her FaceTime call. She goes, are you starting cardio or are you finishing? And I was like, finishing. She goes, I just made updates on your plan. Do 5 more minutes. So I was like, okay. So I turned the cardio machine back on and I did my 5 more minutes, and she was just talking to me. She's like, listen, Amber, we know the first couple of weeks is dicey. You know that you do have more body fat on you. That's okay. But no matter what, the first 4 weeks are always like this. So we can push shows back. We can adjust. Just stick with it. Things are going to start to change. So it was helpful that I am finally just being more forthcoming about my feelings. This has always been a struggle for me, just saying. But the thing is, when I say it, I feel so much better after I get it off my chest. So don't be afraid or feel like you're less than, or feel like you're not strong, or feel like that's not being a champion. It's like I tell people all the time, Michael had a coach, Kobe had a coach. Athletes have mentors and coaches and people that they talk to. And I really feel that it is crucial, especially in this sport. And you don't need a bunch of people. In fact, I recommend that you don't have a bunch of people to talk to. Pick your 2 people that you know are solid as a rock, who are going to tell you, hey, I hear you. My heart goes out for you. However, I need you to keep pushing on through. And you're going to complain, and that's okay. We can complain all the way through, but do not quit. Now, of course, if there's like something like legit real going on, then, use your discernment, use your discretion. But, so champions cry, y'all. Champions cry sometimes too. Sometimes in prep, it gets hard. Sometimes in prep, you cry. I have cried every prep, every single prep. And then sometimes in prep, your personal life, like life be lifing, things are going on. Like people go through life changes, life transitions. Like y'all know my prep for 2023, I talked about it. Like me and my husband were not in a good place at the beginning of my prep. I didn't think we were going to make it. And so prepping through that, do you know how difficult it was for me to prep through that? It was by far one of the hardest things that I have ever experienced. However, that's why on the flip side of this prep now, I'm not tripping too hard. And that's also why I'm kind of keeping things inside, because I'm like, you already did the impossible last year. So these feelings that you're feeling right now, keep it together. But at the same time, feel how you feel and move on. Don't sit in it. Don't let it be forever. Don't sulk in it. Acknowledge your feelings. Say something to someone, but then we got to move on. All right, so I'm going to finish up because I think that's about it. I don't know how long I've been recording because this thing doesn't show me. Oh, 18 minutes. Okay, cool. I want to leave y'all with this last piece of advice for having a champion mindset. You have to understand, first of all, nothing in life is, but prep definitely is not linear. Just because maybe you started off losing a pound every week doesn't mean it's going to go that way. In fact, I can tell you it won't go that way. Just because it starts off the first 4 weeks talking to myself and nothing's happening doesn't mean that nothing will happen. It takes time. It takes a minute. And it's kind of like how when you're praying to God and you're like, I'm doing all the things I'm praying and I don't see it and nothing's working and nothing's working. You can't see it when you're in it, but God's always working in the background. Prep is also very much like that, where you're doing all the work and you can't see the fruits of your labor right then and there. But then you have 1 week where it's like, boom, the floodgates open and it's just moving and grooving and going. That is very common in prep. So prep is not linear. Do not allow one bad check-in to ruin your day, ruin your week, ruin your month, ruin your prep. When I checked in this morning, I just knew I was either going to be 100. What was it? I knew I was going to be 159 pounds or 160 pounds, because last week when I checked in, I was 162.6. I was on my period. And the week before that, I was 162.2. So I'm like, okay, if I'm on my period and I'm at the same weight that I was last week, I know I typically hold or go up about 2 to 3 pounds on my period. So that let me know, oh, we're probably like 160, maybe 159. I was wrong. Wait, we're right back up to 163. And so what I've realized so far, because I've only been in prep for 4 weeks now, is those weeks, the 2 weeks that I had when I felt tight, that's when I was 163 pounds. And then the weeks where I felt kind of meh, that's when my weight was 162, 161. So I'm just kind of like, all right, God, whatever, we're going to roll with it. So just because the scale is telling you one thing, y'all know I tell you all the time, the scale is trash. Do not become a slave to the scale because it ain't healthy. It ain't going to help you one bit. Easier said than done. I too have my moments, but again, you have to let it be a moment. And that also is having a champion mindset where you understand, okay, I don't like this. This is garbage. I understand it's got me feeling away, but I also understand that this is one check-in. I still have many weeks to go. All the tools have not been whipped out. Like, this is not the end. I still have a lot of wiggle room. And guess what? I let go of the fact that, you know what? The show that I thought I was going to be able to do in October, that's probably not going to happen. But guess what? The plan was to be ready in the fall time. November is still the fall time. So don't ever get so hung up on a show. And this is easier when you're a pro, because when you are a pro, there are way more shows to pick from. It's a little bit different when you're a national level. Trust me, I get it, because you want to compete. Like right now is that sweet spot to compete. So after junior USAs, you kind of have a little bit of a lag, but then you've got junior Nats. And then 2 weeks after that, you have Universe. And then a week or 2 weeks after that, you have USAs. That's the time to hit it when you're at that national circuit. So I get it. However, when you're a pro, this morning I told myself, I was looking at the schedule and I was like, girl, there are still other shows that you can do. We ain't stressed. We're going to show up when the body is right, because ain't nobody wasting money just to get on stage for the sake of, well, I said I was getting on stage. It don't matter what you say. It matters what the body says. Amen. Amen. Thank y'all so much for hanging out and watching the vlog. Please tune in to the One More Net podcast. That has been so scary and fun to do. I hope y'all are enjoying the vlogs. More to come. Let me know in the comments what you want to see. What do you want to see? Is it something beauty-wise? Is it something bodybuilding-wise? You want to do a Q&A? Just let me know. Prep meals. I don't know. Y'all tell me what you want to see, but thank you so much. And please do not forget to cast one more net.